This week's Rugby Union Classic is a homage to one of the great Rugby Union international teams, the 1984 Wallabies, when they played Wales at the National Stadium, Cardiff. Well, hello and welcome. 1984 was a watershed year for international rugby union. It was the year that Andrew Slack's Wallabies, coached by the visionary Alan Jones, emerged from their role as little brother to the mighty All Blacks. British rugby fans were privileged to see the Wallabies arrive on these shores in the autumn of '84 and destroy the 4 home unions to achieve their own first Grand Slam on a British tour. Cardiff was the venue for the 3rd test of the tour. The Cardiff crowd, used to the heroics of their own backs, could only applaud as the Wallabies tore the heart out of the Dragons. The Welsh team was captained by the abrasive hooker Mike Watkins. Behind the scrum, David Bishop made a long-awaited debut at scrum half. He was paired at half-back with Malcolm Dacey, the Swansea half-back. The linchpin of the Wallaby team was the Aboriginal fly-half Mark Ella, the most talented of an outrageously gifted set of rugby-playing brothers. He lacked a great boot, he was not particularly quick in movement, and he did not possess a sidestep. But the world had never witnessed such brilliant hands, such glorious support running, and such a devastating attacking brain. Ella was a genius, and this was his tour. Well, he was the star, but what a supporting cast. The future captain of the 1991 world champion Wallabies, Nick Farr-Jones, held the Cardiff crowd in thrall. At centre, Michael Lynagh was learning from the master standoff. And at wing, full-back, well, anywhere he fancied going was David Campese, as gifted in 1984 as he would be almost a decade later. He was an all-time great in an all-time great team.
So we're all set for liftoff in this crucial international as Roger Gould lifts off a high kick down there and taken immediately by the new Welsh scrum half David Bishop. And what a start he's made. Guy the Bish, they call him, and he's got off with a good touch kick. Gathered in there by the big lad Cutler. Ball nudged forward. The pick-up by Tyneman to Farr-Jones. They've got a bit of space here. Gould's coming to the line. Out to Grigg. Grigg trying to switch inside. Tackle was high. Penalty.
Well, the referee is going to stamp his authority in this match immediately with this very high tackle from David Bishop. It's the most difficult tackle of all, quite unnecessary, but the man cutting back inside makes the tackler leave his trailing arm behind.
Michael Lynagh has been doing the kicking for the Australians in the internationals so far. But Roger Gould, of course, had a very good match against Munster with 19 points in the Australians' 31-19 win. And you'll notice, of course, that Roger Gould places the ball in the old-fashioned way, the Okie-Geffen way, if I can call it that way. Gould then, high enough and long enough and straight enough. What a superb start, 3 points to 0, the Australians lead. They've played about 4 minutes. So it's Mark Wyatt to restart. Very long. Ella to Gould. And Gould with a cannonball hoof. So on the Welsh 22. Rodriguez was the man who caught it in. This is Mark Ella. Another very high punt. Looked as if the Australians might have won a useful ball there, but the scrummage there as close as that. Good test of the Welsh scrummage, this. David Cody, the flanker on this side. Bishop almost caught by Farr-Jones. Gets it out to Dacey. Well cleared. So Malcolm Dacey, whose choice was perhaps a bit controversial, they reckon he hasn't been playing quite as well this season, but he did have a good championship last time. And there Tom Lawton Nicely back from Cutler, Far Jones to Ella. That was Lina. Inside to Poidevin. Far Jones again, useful ball for the Australians as the scrum half goes. Patches back inside, it could be a score. Gould in the line, Greg trying to get there. And that could be a score, and the arms are aloft. And the scorer is Lawton, the hooker. 7.5 minutes gone, and the Australians 7-0 in the lead. And so it was Markello's little short pass, and then Poidevin who set the ball up beautifully. Now this really was a good ball because Far Jones had a lot of room. Watch how he took a man out. That was big Gould, the fullback, in. A lovely pass to Greg, and yet he actually got it inside, and Lawton with his 16 stones did the rest. A great try. Roger Gould with the chance to stretch the lead. That's the camera down at the Taff end, the River Taff. Gould, very high, but wide. Watkins with the throw. Bishop. Ackerman. Great tackle by Poidevin on halfway, fed back from Butler. The pick-up by Wyatt. Oh, this is a good chance here, Dacey. Dacey to Ring. Ring back inside to Bishop. Bishop up to the 22. Beautifully tackled by Campese. Inside to Dacey. They're only 15 metres short. Pickering goes on. Bishop again. Along the line from Titley. Ring within 10 metres. Marvellously exciting stuff from Wales. And listen to the roars. Yeah, that was a bit more like it. They're all saying round the ropes here. Bishop waiting. It's come down channel one and they're trying to give it to Butler. That was the big man Davis, number 6, who went round. Now it's Bishop feeding Dacey, with a solid wall there of Australian jerseys waiting for him. In goes Pickering, number 7. Now it's the breakout. Beautifully out from Far Jones. This is Campese. Campese. The kick sliced as Ackerman put him down. And a very good bit of refereeing there by Owen Doyle as Campese was put down and Bob Ackerman gave him a little extra push. Owen Doyle was in quickly.
But any question marks there on Dacey, Bishop was soon eradicated there with that magnificent movement by the Welsh backs. The type of play that coach John Bevan has said that he would introduce throughout the season. Good, excellent close interplay between forwards and backs. But the Australians, once again, showing how quick they are to take advantage of the situation and get away so quickly.
That's halfway. Great catch by Tyneman. That's Steve Tyneman, the 21-year-old. Far Jones to Ella. He had so much time. Didn't kick that as well as he wanted to. A lot of Welshmen there. Bishop through. Big Greg was in trouble. Bishop nicely out. Ackerman caught. That was Pickering handing on. Inside Australian territory. Bishop once again. Dacey, there's an overlap here. Ring. Ring to Wyatt. Wyatt kicking through for Titley. Campese got hands to it first. Meant for Eddie Butler. He got hands to it all right. Bishop caught by Tyneman. Now we'll get a good view of this scrummage on this side. Rodriguez against Ian Eidman. Well, that Australian scrum looked solid. Tyneman to Far Jones, out there to Campese. Campese with a real chance here. Campese going for the line. Feeds out to Poidevin. It's a try there for Lina. Brilliant stuff. £11 to 0. It was a lovely scrummage. Tyneman, the number 8, let Far Jones away. Now look how he timed his pass beautifully. And then Campese, very quick, and sharp off his left foot. It was really a swerve he did. It was great support work too. 3 or 4 fellas were there. The first man was Poidevin, and then look at the timing of his pass to Liner. The way was clear for the inside centre. Great stuff. But it's all a question here for Gould of head still, follow through and don't snatch. Yeah, he must have got it all right. Now let's watch and see if the Australians take it sideways. Owen Doyle wants the scrummage to be kept up, but let's see if the Australians take it sideways a bit to their left, and then put in the shunt. They did it earlier, very effective. Yes, there's the sideways, and there's the drive. Eddie Butler in real bother, but gets it well. Alan Davies goes with him. Now it's Bishop. Dacey, the switch to Ackerman. Ackerman well tackled by Ella. Gives it on to Bishop. Bishop on the drive. Another thumping tackle there by Tyneman. Once more it's Bishop. He really is a tough guy, this Pontypool scrum half. But no way through. And really that was, yes, it was a good thing the referee blew his whistle. It began to get a bit rough there. But the upshot is a penalty to Wales. So an important moment for Mark Wyatt, who scored 34 points in his first 4 internationals 2 seasons ago. Wyatt then straight and through. Well, that'll boost Welsh confidence just a little bit. There's a long, long way to go, but with half-time almost upon us, they've cut that deficit, and, well, it's always something. Australian 10 metres line. Tyneman just beaten to it again, but through there went McIntyre. That's Tyneman going on. Poidevin was there as well. Referee's whistle goes for the end of the match, for the end of the first half of the match. That's how exciting it's been. And Australia arrive here leading by 13 points to 3, having scored 2 tries to none. So I would think that Mike Watkins, the Welsh skipper there, is hoping to get in amongst the Australians a bit more to spoil their possession. Mark Wyatt gets the second half going. Up there went Steve Williams. Rodriguez pulled it in. And there's the thing I was mentioning. This lovely, tidy ball that the Australians are producing for their backs, enabling Mark Ella on that occasion to send in that huge punt. I mean, the amount of ground he's gained there. One moment the Welshmen are up on the Australian 22. The next minute they're toiling away back to their own. Cutler, number 5, the 6'8" lad. The control tower, but not getting hands to it that time. And it's Bishop. Taken by Gould. Gould generally very good under the high ball. Titley there. Far Jones is up. The Australian scrum half was the man who got the tackle in, but the Welsh forwards did well. They rallied quickly and enabled Bishop to feed Dacey. Welcome Dacey, who's dropped 3 goals for Wales against England. Now Bob Noster has gone to the back of this line out to try and avoid or neutralise a long Australian throw, but they changed it. With Bob Noster very aware, another of the British Lions in the side. 4 Lions altogether in this Welsh team. With just 111 caps, that gives you some idea of, in a sense, a lack of experience in the side. Tyneman picking up. A lot of referees have decided that even if the ball is in the back row, as it were, if it falls in, that they re-scrummage. Far Jones, Ella, Liner. They've missed out everybody. Campese. Campese suddenly materialising. Tried to get it out to Greg. Ackerman saves inside the Welsh 22. Out to Eddie Butler. Now it's Bishop. A thumping tackle by Cody. Wyatt gets it away. Ella, lovely switch to Liner. Great pick up there by Gould. Again, the Gary Owen, and it could be very awkward as Boydeven couldn't quite get it. Boydeven was beautifully positioned, but the ball spun over his head. Otherwise, it seemed a certain try. But that high hanging kick by Roger Gould is the one that causes all kind of panic stations in the Welsh defence and indeed in other defences that he's played against. And so there's David Cody, who had played against the Argentine in '83, but got his second cap against England, and his third one today. Oh, that could be a pushover try, and it's given. The pushover try. I think Diamond might have got his hand to it. He certainly looks the happiest of the whole lot. And Lawton there has his arm up in the air. Well, it was a lovely drive in the scrummage that did it. They held, they drove. Watch Diamond, he's the man who held it in. It really was a walking scrummage all the way. Now, as soon as the ball hits the line, the scrummage is over and you can handle it. And, well, it may well have been Diamond. And as the Australian team discuss that try and what has to come, Roger Gould, very experienced man, of course, 27, and finding that goal kick a piece of toffee. Lawton's throw, but a bit of levering on a shoulder, and another chance for more Australian points. Mike Watkins checks. So Roger Gould, a little bit of ill-mannered whistling, but nothing much as Gould looks to put it through, and the flags are up. It's got a Welsh forward play, but it's the production of the ball now that they want. Now it's Bishop. Dacey cuts back inside. It's still a good run. Caught there by Lawton. Welsh driving on, and the Australians again penalised for being on the wrong side. May have been Simon Boydeven who gave away the penalty. There he is, who scored 5 tries in major internationals for the Australians, the flank forward. And a great cheer for the Welshmen as they go for the tap penalty rather than the penalty goal. Watkins, the feed on there to Butler. Tackle was by Cody. Now it's Bishop. Bishop checking and going again. Oh gosh, you have to nail him to the floor, don't you? Offside, I think. We've about 3.5 minutes of the match to go. And Wales as close as that, but not going for the penalty. Watkins, the feed on to Davies.
Well, full marks for Enterprise, but it's so difficult to score against a well-organised defence, particularly this Australian defence, so close to the line, especially if you haven't got much speed, which Wales are very slow at the moment.
Well, they've channeled that ball quite cleverly across to Butler. Now it's Bishop. Bishop, the long feed out there to Titley. Titley well caught by Campese. Bishop, almost there, the try is given. It wasn't a knock-on. So David Bishop follows in the footsteps of Welsh scrum halves who've scored in their first international. It was quite a good bit of channeling by the Welsh forwards. They brought the ball right across to Eddie Butler. They held it pretty well. Now Butler fed, and watch here how Bishop gave it out first to Titley. Titley caught there by Campese. Now that would have been a knock-on in the olden days, but of course he stopped it hitting the ground. It was a try. And he'll be delighted, and all those folk down at Pontypool Park will be thrilled as well. Wyatt, has he pulled it round? Yes, he has.
Well, give David Bishop every credit for persistence. Titley does well here to hold up the tackle and release the ball inside. How did Bishop manage to hold on to that ball? And of course, I think the Australian defence by this time really know that the match is safe and there's very little tackling going on at that moment. But a fine effort by David Bishop.
They've actually got about 1 minute of the match remaining, plus a touch of injury time, and it's 22-9 to the Australians. That's the halfway line. Scrummage has got to be square on. Bishop again, Dacey, Ring. Wyatt's in the line, feeds inside to Ackerman, but dummies. In fact, Wyatt held on. Perkins gets it. Perkins trying to feed out. Now it's Pickering. Now it's Wyatt once again, caught by Poidevin. The feed on to Watkins. It's coming out here nicely. It's Titley. Titley to Phil Lewis. Lewis out to Butler. Butler, the interception by Mark Ella. And I don't think Bob Ackerman can catch him. Ella has gone, and that surely is the final knell against a Welsh resurgence. An opportunist breakaway try by Mark Ella. And really the Welshmen were in the saddle here. Eddie Butler's pass being snapped up by Ella. And you could see Bob Ackerman had a slow start because of the heavy ground, and Ella really was cantering here. He knew he was home. Now the big man goes straight and true. The referee's whistle goes for the end of the match. Not only have those Australians won, but they've won playing some quite delightful rugby football that has been appreciated by everyone of this 62,000 crowd.
Well, that was the third leg of their British Grand Slam. There's no doubt that this was a team of rugby revolutionaries. Over a decade on, I still drool at the running lines and the footballing skills of this Wallaby team. Using the blind side, Nick Farr-Jones beats the defence with the speed of pass, and then there's Campese. Beautiful pace, beautiful balance, and just look at Simon Poidevin's hands there, 6. Liner under the post. For me, that's one of the great teams in modern times. Well, that team heralded the peak of Mark Ella's career. For others, even greater heights were to be reached. The likes of Farr-Jones, Liner and the incomparable Campese were to conquer the world 7 years later. You don't need to wait 7 years for the next episode of Rugby Union Classics. We'll be back same time next week. Until then, goodbye.